Hi, everybody. I'm Monica Morales, and you're watching the Monica Makes It Happen social media show. We're coming to you from our streaming studio right here on 42nd Street. It's Women's History Month, so you know what that means. We're bringing in women of power, women that you want to hear their stories, and today we have some incredible Latinas here. Meiling Macias-Toro is my co-host today, and I love her so much. I've been wanting to have you on the show for so long. What do you think of our streaming studio?
It's amazing. Thank you for having me.
It's fantastic to have you here. She is the founding member and the CEO of Freedom Global Network. And Julia Carias-Linares is a founding partner and CEO. She's going to join us later on. Two powerful Latinas. But first, this.
Monica Makes It Happen is proudly supported by Goya. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Okay, I've wanted to have you here forever. So now that I have you, you're going to also be on my TV show and podcast. Meiling Macias-Toro is a powerhouse. And the reason why I really wanted you in studio is to talk a little bit about your latest project. Can you tell me, you have a documentary out that is really, it's becoming a movement, really.
Right.
Tell me about it.
So, Dear America, a letter from Black women, started out of wanting to see more civic engagement, wanting to see more people go out and vote, especially in the Black community. So the executive producer of Dear America is Chanel Barnes, and she's the CEO of Project Ready. Project Ready is an organization in Newark that educates and has this movement of, bringing people to vote. So it was another,
so important.
Yes, it was another vision to just amplify the voices of Black women who have historically just made such a difference in turning out votes.
Yeah, and your story, it's always your story that's the why you're so driven to do this. We're going to go more in depth in the podcast, but I want to hear why. Why are you so driven to make sure that underserved, I say under, because I feel like we're underestimated, we're underpaid, why is it such a mission for you? Is there a personal story there?
I think my personal story is at 16, I went to college, right? So while I was there, I was only 16. My parents were immigrants from Colombia. I had, no one had ever gone to college.
Women
I was the first one to go to college. When I showed up at the bursar's office, I had no idea what to do. I had a dear friend, Cheryl Smith, God bless her, who took me by the hand and showed me how it worked, how you register, how you get financial aid.
Who is this Cheryl woman? How did you meet?
know.
Just a stranger? She was a perfect stranger.
She was a perfect stranger. She took me by the hand and just showed me the ropes to get through college. Of course, I put the effort. So I got an Associates of Occupational Science degree. Literally kind of like project hands-on degree, where I was a VJ or a DJ then at the college's radio station, and I was also a camera woman for Cablevision. I used to wear that big pack with a camera, and it was amazing.
I've known you for so long, and I've never known these stories.
There's so many stories that come from that, but for me, it was just that giving of this person that I said, I have to pay this forward. And I have to continue to try to help, young ladies and young children educate themselves and go to school.
Well, you've done that to the 100th degree now by giving back, and you've worked for global brands like AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, Burger King, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. You're a media executive to be reckoned with. You've worked with celebrities like Eva Longoria. Can you get her on our show? Mary J. Blige.
Oh my God, these women.
Who are your favorite people to work with? I know that's tough to say, but I know you have a partner. We have a studio audience in the house. Someday we'll have a studio audience.
It's funny you say,
one person.
Who's my favorite person to work with? Because I would have to say my partner.
Then
Julia.
The person who's next. Julia, and I always say in my podcast, who do you want to see next? And I feel like we gravitate toward each other. The 5 people that are closest to you could all be on my podcast, because that's the type of people that I attract and I love. So you love working with her. Why?
No, I think that she and I have a great balance. She's very creative, and I'm the person that always has, the shrewdness of how much things cost, and have had that experience of budgeting and executing on budget and on time.
I need you on my team.
So that's always been very important to me. But taking it back in terms of the advertisement, I would say, and it's not it's a man. Like the legend soccer player Pele, to me, was one of the most humbling people I've ever worked with. But then there's a woman, the queen of salsa, Celia Cruz. So I did a commercial with her for
You actually
McDonald's.
worked with her.
I worked with her on a McDonald's commercial back in the 90s.
Do you have a picture of this that we can
And
include?
oh my God, of course we can include that
yeah,
picture.
I want that picture.
And working with her was amazing. It was the day after she had received her Hollywood star. So I got her personally to give me a Hollywood star, and I co-wrote her jingle. At the time, we were changing the song of McDonald's, and in Spanish it was, "Sabes que es McDonald's, buen ambiente y gran sabor." And in my days,
and she can sing too.
in
everybody.
my days, I was a singer as well. I was a salsa singer back in my teen years to my 20s.
I could write a book. We need a podcast. No, I already told you that this could be a proposal for a book, and I happen to know a publisher. We had him last week.
Oh my goodness!
So
that
yeah,
would be
big
amazing.
powerhouse,
I
Michael
would definitely
Clinton.
need
We
help.
love you.
Yeah.
But you were honored too by the Christian Rivera Foundation.
Yes, I was.
So let's talk about I always like the community impact.
Sure.
So children, I mean, you got a big award, girl. What is going on here? That must be such a humbling.
It was humbling, privileged.
We love Christian Rivera
Yes,
Foundation. We
yes.
love them. We love
Shout out to Christian Rivera, and definitely go to ChristianRiveraFoundation.org and donate. So we fundraise for DIPG. DIPG is a devastating disease that affects children of young age. And because it's a terminal disease, we are researching how to best, in trials, how to best give a success rate to children. But our efforts also go to supporting the families because it's just such a devastating disease. And shout out to the board who works very hard in fundraising.
Board, and of course, you're on that board.
And it takes a board to really help, John Gungi Rivera, who has lost his son at 10 years old. And it's just a sad story to be able to put forward. But, the party now is at Cipriani's. So we were honored at Cipriani's. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
And then we have a 5K in June. We have a boat ride in July. And again, if you want to donate, you would just have to go to ChristianRiveraFoundation.org without an H, Christian without an H.
That's right, without an H. Thank you. What a beautiful person you are, and we love him, and we love his story. He's been on our show before.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
But if you want more, again, she's going to be on our podcast, number 7 on YouTube, and my TV show at the end of the month. Okay.
Ooh,
thanks for being on.
fun.
Yeah, thanks for being on. And next, Julia Carias-Linares is here. She's the founding partner and CEO of Freedom Studios, Inc. We are so happy to have you here, producer of Dear America, a letter from Black women. And we just had your partner on. She was singing your praises about how she loves to work with you.
And I love to work with her.
Yes. Is there a reason why you did this? Tell me, what's the why? I always like to get to the why. Why did you do this?
Absolutely. I think that last year was a very important year for the elections, and it was important to get people engaged, get people activated. A lot of times, we just need a story to inspire us and to help us, give us that nudge. And I thought it was really important to be part of a film that was so important, not only to engage and activate voters, but also to tell the story of Black women and how they have contributed to the American political system and how often they're the ones that show up for democracy.
That's right. And I'm all about the story. I love great stories. So is there like a moment from the film that you really, there's probably so many. And hopefully we can correspond with some video here of your documentary, because we want everyone to see it. How do they see it, by the way? How do they see it? Can they go online or?
Right now we're strategically working on distribution, but we have submitted to a couple of film festivals.
Ooh.
And so, but they can get a calendar on our website, the DearAmericaProject.com.
Oh, that's easy to remember, DearAmericaProject.com. We'll make sure to say that 16 times during this thing. But tell me, what is your favorite moment of the film? I know there's probably so many.
Yeah, there were so many moments. Obviously, just learning about the history of how these women have contributed, but for me, was being in the same room with Martin Luther King III and his wife. It was very emotional. To think that I was in the same room with the son of someone whose parents were so pivotal and so important to the civil rights movement was very emotional for me.
Never forget that.
Absolutely. To be in the same room with history.
Yeah.
And he was so gracious. His wife was so gracious. And I knew at that moment that we had something special. You know, that this film was going to be really important.
Yeah. And it really is important, but it's you, executive producers like you, that believe in projects that matter. Because so many times, I hate to say this, I know in the news business, if you don't have the backing, these stories are not being told. Was that the fear there, that these stories would not be told if you didn't support it, if you didn't put the work in? Was that always in the back of your mind, like the impact that you're having and how important it was?
Yeah, I mean, that's always in the back of our minds. You know, as storytellers, we want to make sure that we think about those things. How do we push forward? How do we bring in allies that are going to help to support the stories, right? These stories that are so important. And this story has never been told, Monica. We have never had the story of the Black women and all the contribution. I mean, we talk about, you know, maternal health, infant mortality, the wage gap, just all the different issues that have impacted that community, especially Black women. And to have it all in one film was pretty remarkable.
I love that. And I always want to quote my Tom Brady. I knew him back in the day, but his quote is that we're, you know, we're not human doers, we're human beings.
That's right.
And your being is so beautiful, what you are. Can you tell me a little bit? I mean, you're doing so many different things. Talk about doer and being. You're also, I love housing. That's my passion, but it's yours as well too, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about you've launched the JCL Staging and Design LLC.
Yeah, so we launched JCL Staging and Design a couple of years ago with my husband. We were obsessed with home shows. And at the time I was working for another network and we were doing home shows. And it was just, you know, because we saw a need to help people. People were trying to sell their homes. How do we create a service that allows people the opportunity to get the most for their property at the highest value, but also presented in a way that is competitive and competes with the rest of the listings. And for us is always, I don't know, we love creating new spaces and reinventing those spaces and reimagining those spaces. So it was sort of natural, especially being a producer, being able to put together a budget, being able to now create a design. You know, it's almost like designing a studio, right? Or designing a set design. And so, yeah, I just
maybe you can spruce this place up. I don't know.
I love that.
No, but I love that. I love that you're doing so much, but also you're also empowering families, specifically of color, to make sure that they get their maximum. You know, because I know during my time when I gained a home and I lost my mom, and I was in need at that point. I didn't know what to do, so you're stepping in when we were most vulnerable. You also are a champion of children.
Yes.
Just like your partner over here.
But I also want to, before we move on to that, I also wanted to add that through the JCL Staging and Design business, Meiling and I, as entrepreneurs and as producers, we saw an opportunity, and that helped us create another project called Fix Mi Casa, and is a digital short form renovation design show with my husband and I.
I was going to say, I
needed
see
to plug that in.
No. We have to do a story on this.
Absolutely.
We have to do a story on this. So can we see some of these?
Yes,
I love before and after photos.
Absolutely.
I'm all about, I'm obsessed with before and after
Me
photos.
too.
You know,
So we just completed our first season, 8 episodes, short form. So anywhere between 7 to.
Where is this? Where can I see this?
You're gonna see this on YouTube. But we are in conversation.
You see us on YouTube too? So
But we also are in conversations with a couple of distributors. So we will have more of
breaking
that.
news here. You got to break the news on my show, okay?
That's right.
Please
That's
do
right.
so. Now, champion of children,
Yes.
you are a champion of children.
Thank you. Yes.
Tell me about that. You're a big supporter of an organization that's orphanages. I mean, does this woman get any better across the globe?
You know, giving back is in my DNA. And to have seen my business partner and her husband, Rafael Toro, be involved in the Dominican Republic and changing lives of these children, I was inspired. And I had the opportunity to go to the foundation and see firsthand the need and also the work that they were doing. And it was natural. It was natural. And to see all these children, you know, you get there and they're like, Tia, aunt. They immediately come to you and to see how the impact that they were doing was actually helping these children, and to see them, a lot of them now, after 10 years of the support that they have been doing, do amazing things as young women and young men. It's the driver that keeps us going, and it's just been pretty amazing. And I just want to see, at the end of the day, it's about leaving this world a better place. And if there's anything that I can do, why not start with children that are vulnerable, children that are in need? And so it was a no-brainer.
Well, I see why you're partners now. I
Yeah.
see why you work together so nicely. Will you come back on the show?
Absolutely. I would love to be
and
back.
breaking the news, and we're going to do a TV story on that new show, which is right up our alley. We just love that. We love
Thank
the
you, Monica.
makeovers, especially for people who need it the most. We love that. It's a movement, what you're doing.
I'm
Both
trying.
of you.
Yes.
And this documentary, where can they see it again one more time?
Yeah, so the documentary, we are doing screenings with organizations, but also, right now we're strategically trying to figure out the distribution.
We love that. And the website again.
The website is the DearAmericaProject.com.
So easy to remember. And that's the Monica Makes It Happen show.
Yes,
Thank you for
Monica,
joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And we're going to have a lot more on our podcast, of course,
Yes.
with this incredible project that's happening. And don't forget to watch us every night at 5:45 and 6:45 on Pix 11. If you need us, reach out to us on social media at Monica Morales TV. Let's keep making it happen together. See you next time.